You're watching ABC News 4 at 6 with Dean Stevens, Victoria Hansen, Dave Williams, and Scott Iceberg. This is ABC News 4 at 6.
Harder to see what's underneath the water than the water itself.
The first wave may be over, but Governor Nikki Haley says the second big wave is on its way as people start to assess the damage that has been left behind. Good evening, everybody. I'm Victoria Hansen. Governor Nikki Haley calls it a different kind of bad, talking about the river flooding anticipated in the coming hours. She stopped in Somerville just about an hour ago and warns that parts of the low country are about to get worse. ABC News 4's Ashley Blackstone joins us live tonight from Somerville at the Dorchester Emergency Management Division. Ashley?
Victoria, good evening to you, and good evening to you at home tonight. The governor did wrap up her press conference here in Somerville just about an hour ago, and she listed some areas of concern that she wants the low country to be aware of as those floodwaters continue to cross the state. The main area of concern will happen over the next 12 hours or so. It's the Georgetown, Pawleys Island area. That flooding could last up to 12 days. Highway 17, Highway 701 will be impassable. She's also concerned that the sunny weather that we've had over the last couple of days will not make people take these evacuations seriously. So she has this piece of advice. Take a listen.
If they come, don't wait for them to come 3 times. Once they come that one time, you need to go ahead and go, because we don't know that we're going to be able to come back and get you as easily the next time around.
And now another area of concern here is Jamestown, where in the next 72 hours, flooding from the Santee will spill over its banks and shut down the area. Governor Haley says Highway 41 will be impassable. Also, the third area here is the Givens Ferry area. It's also expected to flood over the next 3 days as the Edisto River rises. So far, 20,000 people statewide have already registered for FEMA assistance. There have been 1,200 rescues, 500 of those by firefighters. Now, if you are worried that flooding may affect you in the low country, you can call the South Carolina Emergency Management, and we have that number for you tonight. It is 1-866-246-0133. Again, 1-866-246-0133. We are live in Somerville tonight. Ashley Blackstone, ABC News 4.
All right, thank you, Ashley. In Georgetown, the mayor says he expects water levels on Front Street to be as high, if not higher, than they were on Saturday. Georgetown County Emergency Management is evacuating the Dunbar and Oatland communities, and the highway system there is closed as well. Now, this again is not a mandatory evacuation, but people are strongly encouraged to leave. Well, as some prepare for more flooding, others are trying the difficult task of cleaning up what is left behind. Brad Bell is live for us just below French Quarter Creek in Hugie, where people are just trying to pick up the pieces, aren't they, Brad?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. You know, it's tough to hear that other communities are anticipating more flooding, but here they can see the damage that's already been done, and there is a lot of it. I can show you, this is French Quarter Creek right back here. Usually makes it a great place to live, but the water got up about this high on this building. Now, the gentleman who lives here had some wonderful friends come today and help him clean it out. He's done an awful lot, but he's still got much to do. Take a look at this, his appliances, refrigerator, freezer, washer, and dryer. All of this stuff has to be thrown out. The water is gone along French Creek Quarter Road. The pain lingers.
I just want to cry. That's what I want to do.
Roberta Albers, of course, won't allow herself to cry. There's just too much work to do.
Look at it. It's just awful. Yeah, everything down here is just, it's bad.
The flood peaked here in her home of many decades, Sunday and Monday.
See the deer head, the water level on the deer.
To have it this high, that was unbelievable. So, you know, it's just one of those Mother Nature things you're not prepared for.
It's pretty bad. Everything in there is destroyed, basically. Cabinets, carpet, everything's destroyed.
Today, it's neighbor helping neighbor, children, in-laws, everybody pitching in, hauling out dripping stuff, hosing out the mud. Everyone here was caught off guard. No previous flood had come close to this. This is the place where the Coast Guard pulled Christy Mueller and her baby aboard a helicopter. She's fine. Everybody here survived. It's their spirits taking the beating now.
No, we got to be strong. We got to keep on going.
Well, back live now. Take a look at this. You see this stuff that my boot is in? It kind of looks like wet concrete. Well, that is the mud that they've been cleaning out of these buildings. They can get it off of their floors, but the sad truth is a lot of this stuff is in the walls of these houses, in between the drywall and the siding. This cleanup is going to be a tough one. In Hugie, Brad Bell reporting.
All right, thank you, Brad. Well, farmers statewide are facing significant losses after the weekend of flooding. Governor Nikki Haley says some $300 billion of produce for profit was destroyed or lost. Here on Johns Island, one farmer says he lost the majority, about 2/3 of his fall and even his winter harvest. He says over the weekend, his 50 acres of land saw as much as 2 feet of water. That left him with very little left to sell. Joseph Field says he is working to replant some of his produce, but produce like tomatoes, green beans, and okra, yeah, they are all lost to the flooding.
Almost total loss because I lost a lot of squash, a lot of collard, a lot of cabbage, a lot of tomatoes, a lot of green beans. I got to salvage what I got. I replant some of the stuff back over. Like cabbage, collards, I got to plant them back over again. Kale, over again. But tomatoes, green beans, they're total loss.
Now, Field says he hopes to recover some of his losses through the sale of his greens, but he says he knows he will not even come close. He says he is requesting assistance from the U.S. Department of Agriculture in the form of a farm service loan or perhaps a grant. And, of course, several local beaches, they are still being impacted by the storms. ABC News 4's Emily Gracie is live. She's on the Isle of Palms, a beach that experienced quite a bit of erosion. Tell us about it, Emily.
Yeah, that's right. We are standing on the beach here at Isle of Palms, and I'm actually standing in a spot right here where the dunes used to be. In fact, you can almost see the line right here, but if I walk about 6 to 10 feet this way, this is where the dunes are now. So significant damage here at Isle of Palms. But not all the beaches experience this sort of erosion. Sullivan's Island, one of the beaches that didn't get hit quite as hard with the beach erosion. The beach there a little bit different. They did experience much of their damage from the boardwalk being caused by actual freshwater runoff. Now, if you are headed to the beach here at Isle of Palms, beach access roads at 46th, 50th, 51st are still covered in water. They're working to pump those out. Ocean Boulevard also remains closed between 3rd and 4th Avenue. That's another spot where you're going to run into trouble. They are looking to repair that here over the next 24 hours. Now, coming up at 7, we're going to take a look at Folly Beach, an area that is no stranger to beach erosion. They've had their problems in the past. We're going to have a look and see if those recent efforts to restore the beach have been successful with this storm. Live on Isle of Palms, Emily Gracie, ABC News 4.
All right, thank you, Emily. Let's bring in our chief meteorologist, Dave Williams, talk about your forecast. And we've been talking all about this. The flood warnings, they have been extended until 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, but you say that will likely be extended even farther?
Yeah, just because of the rivers. I don't see an end anytime soon to these flood warnings. I can't tell you exactly how long, but it's going to last a long time. Now, the Black River has crested. That was good news. However, downstream of Kings Tree, there's still going to be problems. And once that water rises outside of the banks, it's going to sit there for maybe weeks. That's why we're going to have these big problems. Now, the Edisto River is very near its crest at Givans Ferry, 16.1 feet now, 16.6 on Saturday, so it's going to come up a little bit. Santee River is going to come up a whole lot. 23.9 is the forecasted crest, and that's not until Tuesday, so we still have some problems on these rivers. These are the rivers highlighted here where we have the flood warnings for the rivers, and that's going to last until 5 p.m. up around Kings Tree, and that's on Tuesday, 5 a.m. actually, around Rock Bluff. 521 problems, 377 problems. Then we move to the Santee River, 45, huge problems there, even maybe along Highway 17 north from Charleston County up into Georgetown County. Then we have the Edisto River, 61, big problems there. Fortunately, we're not seeing any more rain coming down right at this moment, and we're not expecting a whole lot more. We've got that flood warning for just about everyone because of the standing water that's still out there. As far as your forecast, 85 tomorrow, gorgeous. There's your rain on Saturday, but less than an inch, and then we dry back out on Sunday. The rest of your 7-day forecast is coming up in just a few minutes, Victoria.
All right, thank you, Dave. Coming up right here on ABC News 4, we have more details about the tow truck driver arrested for allegedly price gouging. What police say he did during the floods. That's right after this. Welcome back, everybody. There have been at least 1,200 rescues statewide. Some victims were airlifted from their homes by Coast Guard helicopters, including an elderly woman who was rescued from her home near Andrews. She shared her story exclusively with ABC News 4's Nicole Johnson.
These two children here are my great-grands.
How many grandchildren you got, Mom?
Wait a minute, I got 14 grands, and when Sullivan came in, I believe she made 11.
88-year-old Mary Rose Swales sits comfortably at her son's house.
Or Mary Rose Swales, because they more call me Mandutsi than they do, because I'm everybody's man.
Matutsi lives off Tomahawk Road on the Black River near Andrews. She built her home with her late husband back in the 70s. Usually it's high above the river, but it started taking on water Sunday, almost to the second floor.
I told them, I said, the water's never come up over near my house. Well, it did. I was wrong.
She went to a family member's house a few doors down because it was dry, but she needed her prescriptions.
Ma Tootsie tells me her family tried to get her to safety by boat and coming out to a nearby highway. But then they ran into this problem. Roads were closed and no one could get to her.
After returning to their street, they heard a helicopter and a neighbor flagged it down.
I only had about like 5 minutes yesterday to decide, are you going out now or are you going on the helicopter? And I just jumped right on it.
Coast Guard crews rescued the elderly woman and took her to a nearby airport. She had only the clothes on her back, leaving behind her home and everything inside.
I have a lot of faith. And material things don't really mean a lot. They were valuable, but they don't mean that much to me, like a life.
A life she's thankful to have, now holding close to what really matters.
I'm thankful that at least she's safe and that, well, most of my family's safe.
I'm very thankful that you came and that y'all came and picked up my grandmother and took her to safety.
In Andrews, Nicole Johnson, ABC News 4.
All right, well, coming up next, we do have sports to talk about. The Gamecocks decide on a starting quarterback for Saturday, and the story of one of the NHL's most feared enforcers now suiting up right here in North Charleston. Scott Eisberg, that and more coming up next.
ABC News 4 Sports with Scott Eisberg.
The journey after the pinnacle. Good evening, I'm Scott Eisberg. The Stingrays started up practice this week, first preseason game tomorrow night, looking to win one more game this year, a Kelly Cup title. For the Rays, plenty of fresh faces, one of them new, but far from fresh. The grizzled Grizzly veteran, Trevor Gillies, new to the Stingrays, but has seen it all, done the unthinkable, and still wants more.
I'm not talking about the glory days. That's not my style. You know, I'm here and I'm committed to this team. And if anyone asks me anything, I'll gladly tell them, you know, some cool stories and, you know, some things that were awesome and special and how I was treated by some great teammates up there. And, but, you know, I miss the bus, man. You know, I haven't been on a sleeper bus in a while. I like playing cards with the boys.
His story is long. The Cliff Notes version would read a bit like this. A 20-year veteran of the pro game, played for a year and a half in the NHL for the New York Islanders. He's been in more fights than you can count, ruthless, brutal fights. His career penalty minutes total nearing the 3,000 mark. He's been suspended for nearly a year of his career altogether, but ask coaches, teammates, fans, Trevor Gillies, the consummate professional.
You know, one day you can beat the toughest guy, and you know, and the next day, it only takes 4 pounds of pressure to be knocked out, and you know, you can fall off that mountain pretty quick. You know, you play for that crest on the front, not the name on the back, and you know, I love my job. I'm one of the guys, few probably, that you'll talk to that really loves it, and that's why I'm still doing it at 36 years old.
36 years old. Yeah, he's 3 years older than his head coach, Spencer Carberry. He's literally gone toe-to-toe with the best in the world, but he's here now and by his own choice.
Obviously, you know, you always want to play in the NHL. I mean, you know, that was the best. It was the best year and a half of my life. But, you know, I'm a realist, and I think that's a little far-fetched now. You know, my goals are I want to win a championship before I'm done playing.
Yeah, he's the total package when it comes to someone that sticks up for his teammates, plays the game the right way, plays hard. But also the thing that goes unnoticed or that a lot of people don't know because you just see him from, you know, looking him up on YouTube or watching him in the NHL or whatever, but he's an incredible leader.
You can't take the hockey from a hockey guy. No way to. Trevor Gillies was playing in this league when mullets were the popular cut, when the Mighty Ducks a movie, not a team. He's now back. May not have been the plan, but he wouldn't trade it.
Truly honored to still be playing, and, you know, I'm just going to work my butt off every day.
Pretty cool stuff. Some Gamecocks football now announced today. The 3:30 Saturday game moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, will be broadcast on ESPN. So the Gamecocks and LSU Tigers will still get the national spotlight for this game. And here's some big news as well. Get this, broken by former Gamecocks quarterback Stephen Garcia, who now works for the sports blog site Saturday Down South. The Gamecocks will start Perry Orth at quarterback, with Lorenzo Nunez being banged up in the Missouri game. The state newspaper confirms the report with Steve Spurrier, who says Nunez will also play a bit. Regardless who is under center, it's a mighty tough test for South Carolina. Finally, tonight, Citadel Baseball releases their schedule for the season, and it's very interesting. Some key dates: a series to open up the season at home against Virginia Tech, February 19th to 21st. Gamecocks come to town on March 1st. College of Charleston series from March 4th to the 6th. And this is cool. Montealee bringing the Clemson Tigers to Riley Park on March 15th and 16th. Citadel visits South Carolina on May 17th. Baseball season just around the corner, but first, plenty of high school football. It looks like they'll be okay to play tomorrow night.
Baseball season? We just started football.
I know, we're starting hockey season. It's crazy. It just never stops.
It's good for you, though.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, and plenty of weather news for you, too.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's pretty good news. We're going to stay dry for the most part right on through the next week. The only exception looks like to be Saturday with a couple showers, but very light rains, it looks like, with that, and then clearing into next week.
We're going to need it.
It's going to take a while to dry out.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
That's our time for 6. We hope to see you once again at 7.
Next CT, Beaver's full frontal fallout. Well, he fights back after being snapped in the butt. Then, think you know everything about the Kardashians?
That's disgusting.
Think again. Next CT.
Tonight at 7:30 on ABC4. For the first time.